It was 9 o'clock in the morning. Sharda asks Manju, her daughter, to look after her brother, who was 6 months old, while she goes to the forest nearby to fetch some firewoods for the house. It's the daily routine of all the women, like Sharda in this little village of Kumaran district, to gather the firewoods that were the only source of domestic fuel. Sharda has been doing this every day since she was a little girl. But today it's going to be different from any other day, because today, unbeknown to her, there is something lurking in the darkness of the forest. Something that is filled with rage and hunger. It has been more than 2 hours since Sharda has been to the jungle. She hasn't returned yet. Bhikkhu is now getting worried for his wife, so he calls 2 of his friends, and the 3 men venture into the forest to look for Sharda. As they got deep into the jungle, they cried out Sharda's name, but to no avail. They finally noticed something that looked like a trail of blood. Fearing for the worse, Bhikkhu hurried along the trail. What he noticed at the end of the trail was something that he could have never imagined, even in his worst nightmare. It was a sight that Bhikkhu will never forget in his life. The year 1900 witnessed the birth of one of the deadliest predator in the recorded history. It claimed more than 400 lives, in region covering both Nepal and India. The reign of terror of the dangerous beast continued, until it was hunted down by none other than Jim Corbett. Before we delve into its hunting spree, we should try to find out what was the reason behind its becoming a man-eater. Champawat tigress reign of terror didn't start in India, but in the neighboring country Nepal, during 1890s. During this time, hunting tigers was considered to be a sport for the rich and the famous. Numerous tigers were mercilessly slaughtered in the name of trophy hunting. It was perhaps one such hunting expedition that resulted in the injury of the champawat tigress. It's unclear when the tiger began its killing spree, but when people started disappearing from the villages, it became quite evident that something or someone was responsible for it, but what or who was it was still unclear. It was when the mutilated, half-eaten dead bodies were discovered, people realized that there was a very deadly and strong animal behind these attacks. Several attempts were made to either capture or hunt down the beast, but to no avail. The beast was not only cunning but quite intelligent enough to evade its captivators again and again. Because of its cunning nature, it was rightfully named as the Devil of Champawat. As the number of victims reached to about 200, Nepal's army finally joined the hunting troops, but they too couldn't hunt it down. With a large hunting group behind its back, the tiger finally escaped to India, across River Sada. The beast began its killing spree once again in the Kumaon district of northern India. The tiger mostly attacked during the daytime, when women and young girls of the nearby villages would venture into the forests for firewoods or for fodder for their cattle. The gruesome attacks resulted in the atmosphere of terror among the residents of the villages. People either stopped going into the jungle altogether, or they would go in groups. But they knew, even a group of humans is no match for a ferocious tiger. Several attempts were made to kill the beast. Rewards were declared for anyone who could put it down. Many hunting groups tried best, but the beast would always oversmart them. It would travel long distances between every kill, making it difficult for the hunters to track it down. It killed more than 200 people in India too. In 1907, British officials, whose all attempt to kill the beast had failed, finally approached Jim Corbett, whose hunting skills were known to everyone. Knowing people's lives were in danger, Corbett agreed to help the officials, but he didn't want to do it for any reward, so the reward was withdrawn. He also asked the other hunting expeditions to be called off. Corbett began his expedition from a small village named Parley. Parley recently had a victim, so chances were the tiger would be somewhere nearby. Corbett wanted to get to it before it escapes. As Jim was preparing for the encounter, the tiger struck again. It was Shada, the woman we talked about in the beginning of the video. When Bhikkhu informed about the death of his wife to the officials, Corbett was immediately informed about it. Jim followed the blood trail and finally came face to face with the maneater. As the tiger was about to pounce on Corbett, he shot at it but missed. Frightened by the gunshot, the tiger retreated into the jungle and disappeared. Corbett put together a team of local villagers who would work as beaters and drive the animal into the open. As the villagers entered the jungle making loud noises, the animal, annoyed by it, came out in the open, where Corbett was waiting for it. Jim took a shot at it and missed, but the second and third bullet hit the animal. Enraged with pain, the tiger dashed towards Jim, but with the fourth and final shot, Corbett was able to kill the beast. The fashion of trophy hunting the tigers resulted in a significant decrease in their number. Worried by the situation, Corbett decided to give up hunting and work for the protection and preservation of the majestic creature instead. Corbett was responsible for the setting up of India's first national park, the Haley National Park at Kumaon, in the year 1936. After India got independence in 1947, Jim Corbett left India. He moved to Kenya and settled there. But his contribution towards the conservation of wildlife was not forgotten, and in his honor, in 1956, Haley's National Park was renamed as Corbett National Park. So that is how the devil of Champawat, that claimed the most number of human lives in recorded history, met its end. But was it really the devil? Or was it forced to become a man-eater because of human disregard for other creatures? Had people of that time been a little sensitive towards other life forms and had thought about the consequences of their action, the tiger would have lived peacefully in its habitat instead of claiming so many lives. What do you have to say about it? Do let us know. And if you like our content, then please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.